This just in, a special message from Roger Melly, the man on the telly. Bollocks! Okay everybody, welcome to WeRanThere.com's vlog number 1. First of probably 1. Why are we doing this? Because my grandmother said she missed my sweet voice. We recently discovered that we have a digital mailbag. You didn't know we had it, I didn't know we had it, but questions are coming in and we're gonna answer them for you. So we're gonna jump right in and do that. Question number 1 was in regards to laundry. How do you find a laundromat? Once you do you have the local currency to use the coins to operate the machines? In every country we go to, we usually just go to an ATM. That seems to be the cheapest, easiest way to get their currency. Wells Fargo charges me $5 every time we make a withdrawal. No big deal. In Asia, we would first just check at any hostel we were at and see if the hostel had their own laundry. If they do, great. We pay, do it there. If they don't, we use the good old-fashioned Google. Search laundry. But sometimes you gotta get creative because not everyone calls it laundry. Sometimes you gotta call it laundrette. We do go running and hiking a lot, so a lot of our shorts and our bras, they get washed in the shower and the sink a lot of times so that we can reuse them day after day. So pretty much wear your clothes into the shower and give it a good wash. Next question is,
have you ever stayed in a youth hostel while on this trip?
Boy, have we. More than we can count, especially in Asia. That's Southeast Asia, that's all we stayed in.
South America, in Central America.
We started off staying in like 10, 15, 20 person dorm rooms.
That got old quickly.
People coming in at all hours of the night, different sleep schedules. You got snorers, you got farters.
Drunk people, never us.
So it was worth it for us to just pay a little bit more for the smaller rooms. We started working our way to 6-person dorm rooms. And then finally we said screw it and started going with the private rooms, which
were much better.
Yeah, and a lot of times would be $20, $25. Hostel World was a fantastic app that we used a lot to check out reviews and make sure we were staying in somewhere that was pretty good. Europe?
Not so much. I think we've only stayed in, what, 2?
2 in the UK.
In the UK. But we don't need to because we have the van, we have Roger. Are there water bugs in Switzerland?
I'm gonna go ahead and say no. Not that we saw, but also we had to do research on what a water bug was. And that was something new for us. Everybody, Google water bug because it's not what I thought it was. Either way, we didn't see any in Switzerland. Where do you get water to wash your dishes in the van?
Good question. Usually we get it at a campsite that we're staying at. They have big water fill-up areas. So we fill up our water bottles for drinking water, plus we have a big jug that's under the sink here in Roger, and we use that to wash our dishes when we are camped away from the campsite. But when we're camped at the campsite, we just use their sinks. Is our mail piling up at the post office, or is it at home?
Our mail is piling up at Leah's mom's house. Thank you, Carol. Everything gets sent to her house and she puts most of it in a burn pile. But if she sees something that she thinks might be important, she'll send us a text with maybe a picture and ask if she needs to open it. So,
my mother is illegally opening our mail. Report her to the authorities.
Is your house left empty and locked up, or is somebody keeping an eye on it for you?
Well, we don't have a house. In fact, we own almost nothing. We own 1 red truck and a dog. We're looking forward to maybe living in a house when we get home. Question: is there a place to charge your smartphones in the van? In fact, there is. I'll show you. Smartphone plugged in. We got one of them fancy cigarette lighters down there. But also when we're plugged in to a campsite, we can plug it in Back there, there's some plugins on the wall. Do you have a laptop?
Yes, we do. Right before we started traveling, we spent like $200 on a Chromebook, but it's treated us really well, and we're really glad that we have it because there's only so much research you can do on a smartphone before you want to throw it out the window. It's really nice to have a keyboard and a bigger screen sometimes when you're looking at...
Slow down, baby.
You gotta slow down. When you're looking at flights or trains, hostels, whatever. So, yes, laptop, and it was a very good choice.
Take a left.
Did Roger come with bedding and dishes?
He sure did. Thankfully, because of course we had nothing, and when we were van shopping, that was one of the things that we would always ask about. Does it come with anything additional? And Roger was the only one that came with everything. So all of our dishes, the bedding, the pillows, towels, camping chairs, camping table. The lady we bought it from, Sue, she's an angel. She really gave us everything. The only thing we had to buy was a frying pan and a pot. Here's a great question. Has drinking the local tap water anywhere made you sick?
Well, here's your travel hack. Don't drink water, just stick to whiskey. We actually did both get sick a few times on this trip. I think mostly in South America. But I can't necessarily blame it on water. I think it was just different foods, maybe some water.
Or a bug. I think it was a 24-hour bug.
But we did, everywhere we go, we just ask the locals if it's okay to drink the tap water. They'll let you know right away if it's safe to drink. And if it's not safe to drink, there is bottled water everywhere, and it's super cheap. So that really hasn't been an issue. When you go for runs in the woods or the countryside, do you wear bug repellent?
We should have been wearing much more bug repellent than we actually have. There have been several times when we've really needed bug repellent, but I feel like overall it's not been an issue. We did really need bug repellent in New Zealand, in the South Island, because there was a bunch of these tiny little bugs called sandflies, and they bite the shit out of you, and it hurts. We've run into a few places with mosquitoes. Thailand had a few mosquitoes. We used bug repellent there. Serbia had mosquitoes, but we just stayed in the van. Iowa had the worst mosquitoes on our entire trip. Have we stayed on budget?
The answer is officially no.
Womp, womp, womp.
We did a pretty good job in the first half of the trip. Southeast Asia, very cheap. But as of today, we have less than a month left of our journey, and the budget that we had saved up for is officially gone. Don't worry, we're not racking up credit card debt or anything. Our original goal was to spend $88 a day between the two of us. I think we're something at like $99 or $100 a day right now, and that's likely where we're going to finish. Over budget. Have you done any jobs on your trip to earn some extra money?
Well, one time it rained 2 days in a row and we got a little bit bored, so I thought it was a good idea to get a job. So I applied for VIP Kid, which is online teaching English to Chinese students, and I got hired, and then I never did it. But I did work, when we went back to Phoenix in April, I did go to my old school that I worked at the previous 4 years and did some substitute teaching. I think I was there 3 or 4 times and made a little bit of money. Plus, it was great to see everybody. Does Roger have a mini fridge?
Oh, hell yeah, Roger has a mini fridge. Although, it only works when we're at a campsite plugged into electricity. So, we don't buy groceries that need to be refrigerated unless we know we're going to be camping for a couple nights in a row.
There it is. Can you see it?
How do you make sure you're drinking enough water, and do you buy cases of water to keep in the van?
To make sure we're drinking enough water, we go by the tried and true pee color test. If it's a little too yellow, we up the intake. We do also buy cases of water. They look like this, usually of 1.5 to 2 liter bottles. We usually buy them in cases of 6 or 4 or 8, and then we'll keep them for maybe 2 weeks or so and just keep refilling them at different campsites. And drinking enough water is a struggle on the road just as it is at home. We just remind each other. And we're constantly drinking while we're driving, drinking water while we're driving. So that's helpful.
Drinking and driving.
How easy is it to navigate through all these countries? Do we have an app that helps us? And do we both drive?
Just like back in the States, Google Maps is your friend. It's been pretty good everywhere we've been. It gets confused a little bit, but nothing that's going to send you way off your route. When you're in some big cities, there's another app called City Mapper that is way better with public transportation than Google Maps is. Do we both drive? Yes. I drive the van, Leah drives me crazy. I drive the van every single mile, and Leah navigates me like a pro most of the time. Do you ever have a day when you just want to be lazy and do nothing?
Yes, very frequently. So when we were living the hostel life in the beginning of our trip, the first half of our trip, it was a lot more go, 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 do a tour here, go climb a mountain there kind of thing. So occasionally, maybe once every week or so, we would allow ourselves a day or two just to relax in the hostel and do nothing. When it comes to being in Roger, I would say we're a little bit more lazy because it's our home and we can be. Our mornings are usually pretty lazy. It takes us a while to eat breakfast, drink coffee, and really get going and make a plan for the day. Are we able to sleep in the van? Does it get hot and stuffy at night? Do we crack windows or do we use AC?
I'd say we've been through all temperatures, sleeping in Roger. Got pretty cold in Switzerland. As far as the heat goes, we have been through 2 European heat waves, which were absolutely no fun during the day. The first one, though, it still cooled down enough at night to where we could sleep comfortably. This last heat wave, though, we were in Germany and the Netherlands. It was a little tough to sleep at night. We would stay out on the town a little bit later than normal, just so that when we went back to the van at midnight or 1 a.m., we could go to sleep. No AC in Raj.
Not even when we're driving. Tell us about your showering and bathroom situation.
Well, I like to think that's a private matter. Showering, we try not to go more than 2 days without a shower, but it's happened before. Most of the time it's at a campground or at a friend's house, normally a hasher that we've met up with in whatever city we're in. But they're pretty easy to come across. Even in Germany, the rest areas have free showers for truckers. We'll go to the bathroom whenever and wherever. McDonald's and Starbucks are key bathroom experiences. You get air conditioning, a bathroom, and Wi-Fi. That's a nice place to look for. Rest areas. If we're camped at a campground, obviously they have their own bathrooms. But when we're camping on our own out in the wild, we just pee in a bush. We don't have a toilet, chemical toilet, anything in the van, so we just do it as nature would have it.
When our trip is done in a month, will we sell Roger for close to what we paid for it?
Well, we should be able to sell Roger for about 10 times what we paid because of how popular he's become. But most likely we'll take off a little bit of money from what we paid and pass it on to the next person.
Coming soon, a list of our top 5 favorite cities or countries.